I'm here in Southampton today with Tony Kilvert, a man who's come into my life recently, and his knowledge is so enormous and he wants to share it with us to help us awaken to our reality, not the illusion that we're living in.
Okay, initially I didn't think that there was, I was asleep as everybody else. I started looking into the reality of free energy. Now that's going to turn a lot of people off to start with. I also didn't believe there was such a thing as free energy, but it turns out on much closer inspection that free energy is a reality. It is a massive subject in itself, but it's a starting point. If you look at people like Professor Jonathan Searle and Tesla, more importantly, Tesla understood the reality that ambient air temperature could be used to transform from heat into electricity.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons that Tesla was stopped in his tracks, because cutting a long story short, the bankers that were backing him at the time realised that his Tesla tower wasn't a transmitter of energy, but it was actually an energy collector. So therefore he got backing on the basis of, I'm going to build a transmitter of electricity, until they figured out that it wasn't transmitting it at all, it was absorbing it. And of course, if it's free, they can't make any money off it, and therefore it's been suppressed. That is just a starting point for understanding the magnitude of the control grid that we're living within. Energy is linked directly to monetary system, and the monetary system is the enslavement tool to enable us to be enslaved. If anybody thinks we're not being enslaved, they need to seriously wake up and think again, because we are being enslaved. Okay, we were talking about the reality that free energy is a control medium, because if you've got free energy, then you don't need money to purchase that energy, it's free. And therefore you don't need to pay your gas bills, you don't need to pay your electricity bills, you don't need to put you don't need to put petrol in your car.
That's right.
You know, there's all sorts of limiting factors that are surrounding the subject of free energy, which is why it's of #1 importance for anybody that's conscious to start communicating to people around them that you know, this is a factor. Because you're enslaved with money. That's the problem. The bankers, the banker bailouts and all of this is all linked to total enslavement of the population. You, your children, your entire future. And if you want to go on the multiple level, you're talking about reincarnating back into a totally enslaved society. This is your entire future, and your children's 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 future that we're talking about now. It's not just a little thing about money, it's much bigger than that.
A scientist has contacted me who has researched Tesla's work and is now able to produce energy in the same way Tesla did. But I don't think the timing is right now for it. But when we progress to full consciousness, then yes, free energy will be available for everyone.
Absolutely.
And that is an enormous step forward.
Absolutely.
Because that has controlled so much for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. It's enslaved the human race, and it's done by design.
I know
this is the whole thing.
Yes.
This whole construct of us living here on this planet Earth in this particular way has been a construct. Or I don't want to offend anybody, but religions also are constructs. They're done to divide and conquer and split everybody off into all different sections and religions and all sorts of other things. It's a tool of the Illuminati the Luciferian rulers that are ruling this world to split everybody off, so that we don't work cohesively together. That's what we need to do. Firstly, we need to awaken consciousness.
Yes.
And secondly, when we've awoken consciousness, then we need to free ourselves from these bonds.
Yes.
And energy and money are massive, massive tools of control.
I know. As for religions, when Monty first died, he said all religions have got it wrong. The only people who are remotely right are the Buddhists, but they're wrong too. And it's all a control system.
Absolutely.
And they're all connected to each other.
Yeah. At the very top.
Yeah.
They all know that it's only a movie as well.
That's
this is
right.
the point. The reality is that we've got, we've got technology beyond our wildest possible dreams. We're still controlled now by the same 33, or I believe 13 at the top, people that controlled us in the first place. This is going back to the beginning of the human race.
Yes.
This is a massive, massive understanding. But the Incas, the Aztecs, the Mayans, all of these were all controlled by the same bloodlines and the same families and the same power structure.
Yes.
Right back to the word dot when it all started. I mean, that's the massive things that people have got to understand.
I know.
You know.
And that's why our DNA had to be cut.
Our DNA's been turned off.
That's right.
Our brain's been split into two hemispheres.
That's right.
Our atlas has been dislocated to prevent us from consciousness. There's many, many different things that have gone through the body that have been done to us in order to get the correct Adam initially that was going to be used as the slave to mine the gold and to undertake, as I see it, this experience of being a human being in this construct that's been created for us. It's good and evil. It's the same old.
Yes.
It's the same old fight against good and evil. At the very top, the controlling people are Luciferians. If you doubt me, look at your money. Look at the symbols on the money. Look at your passport. Look at your birth certificate. It's all over the place.
I know.
I mean, when you walk past a total garage, there's an all-seeing, partially veiled eye, which is the emblem for total. Now, Rothschilds wanted total control of all of these things that are to enslave us. I mean, if you go past a Merco garage, you've got a Merco bar. It's an Esso garage, esoteric. It's all the people at the top know all of these things, but it's the people at the bottom. I hope you enjoy your lottery, because if you look at the lottery logo, you've got 666 on your lottery. It's right in front of your face. If you pick up a product, you turn it round and look at the barcode. There'll be 3 extra long lines that go through the middle. Those extra long lines are 6s. You've got 666. It's absolutely everywhere. But people aren't, as a rule, paying attention to the symbology and the hidden language that's right in front of your face, but you've never been told about it unless you've done your own research and figured it all out. I mean, it's everywhere, isn't it?
I know, but once you wake up to it, you see it everywhere.
Absolutely.
But while you're asleep, you don't see it at all. It's like wearing black glasses.
It's veiled. Yeah.
Totally veiled.
If you look at your passport, now this is interesting. If you look at your passport and open your passport and then slightly tilt it to the light, you will see what looks to be an Egyptian, if it's a modern passport, I don't know about the old ones, apart from the RFID chip that's in there, by the way. You'll actually tilt it to the light and you'll see a hologram of a shield going half over your face. It's to veil you. That's the point. It's magical symbols that are imprinted over your face to veil part of your face. So why would they want to veil you? So you can't see the truth.
Yes.
And that's the question. It's like, hello, there's a truth going on here that people aren't looking for. And that's the point. When you begin to lift off all of that crap that you've been taught, science, history, technology, no such thing as free energy, don't go there, and all this. When you begin to peel away those layers, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and you end up going further and further into the truth, as to begin to understand the level of the enormity of lies that we're living.
You go to a doctor. You want, you know, you go to the doctor because you've got a problem. But what do? They pile you full of chemicals.
Yeah.
You know, it's all chemical crap. God gave you an immune system. Yeah, use it. So what do you need with your immune system to make sure that you don't get disease? Number one, they're producing diseases in labs. The CDC in America is churning diseases out like there's no tomorrow. Look at swine flu. Look at, you know, bird flu and all the rest of it. They're all, if you look at the actual biological, I can't think of the technical terms, but they're spliced together to make these things. Pig flu, swine flu, and basically has been spliced together with H1N1, is it?
Yes.